Hello, welcome to episode 11, One Old Man's Opinion. Today, I'm going to cover three subjects. Taylor Swift, the Jews who don't support Israel, and no kings. Right off the top, we'll go for Taylor Swift. Now, she's pretty, she's talented, she's rich, she's very popular. Am I a fan? Not really. I don't dislike her, but currently not focused on her type of music. So do I own any of her music? Absolutely not. Did I look out for it when I'm driving down the road and tuning my radio? No. But she has been in the news lately. A bunch of morons? No, well, I'm not supposed to call people morons. But I will. A bunch of morons whose life orbits around race have been suggesting that she's racist or white supremacist or insensitive because of a line, a perfectly innocuous line in one of her songs. Really? Seriously? Come on. Get it together. Get a life. If you're one of those people, think it over. After all, she did support the Democrat in the last presidential election, so she's not a conservative libertarian as I am. I'm sure her politics are not anywhere near mine, but she deserves respect. She doesn't deserve the kind of crap she's had thrown at her. So even though she's really rich, people who are really rich and high profile and famous and all that kind of stuff expect to have more of that kind of stuff. I don't agree with it. So that's one old man's opinion on Taylor Swift. I have some secular friends, secular Jewish friends, and a couple of observing Jewish friends. And this message is mostly for the secular Jewish friends, but if you're an observing friend, maybe you can pass it on, because I'm sure you know some people who are not. I'm a Christian. I have recently, though, worked my way through Torah one more time. Just for me, that's a bit of a chore. I do it every couple of years, but I have but I have trouble staying awake through the repetitions. But there are lessons right in the repetitions themselves. The fact that those repetitions are there have meaning. And so I got to poking around, counting things and doing some research, and there are at least 7 cycles of the nation of Israel heading off the rails. Idol worship, various other bad behaviors, and they get whacked for it. And then they get reconstructed. They realize they messed up. They beg forgiveness. God sends the judge or something, and everything gets put back together, and they take off again. At least 7 of those that follow that pattern. And then there are some other examples of individuals gone awry, ended up losing thousands of people in battle and all that kind of stuff, all based on their crappy behavior. But God always brings them back together. Now, in World War II, 6 million Jews were slaughtered by evil forces. And they're all back together again in Israel. There is an Israel. And for a person who calls himself Jewish to not support Israel is one of the dumbest things I can imagine. Now, I'm a Christian, and so as a Christian, I have studied the Christian scriptures, the 66 books of the most commonly accepted books in Christendom. Read all the way through a couple of times, gone to some classes and all that kind of stuff. And nowhere, anywhere, in any scriptures, old or new, have I seen where God has said, Israel is no longer my chosen people. Nope, I don't see that anywhere. I think you still are. And I think you need to act like it. You need to get off your secular butt and go be a real Jew. That might be mean. The only alternative is to get off of your secular butt and come be a Christian. It's not that hard. But if you're going to be a nothing, things are not looking good for you. Just say it. Love you. Praying for you. That's one old man's opinion. Last but not least, today, I'll talk about the No Kings rally. Or rallies, or whatever. One of the networks showed this huge rally in, I think it was in D.C. And, gazillions of people. But the trees all had the wrong color. It was clearly recorded months ago while things were still perfectly green. There's no yellow and red and brown leaves in the trees. They're all green. So I suspect that the mainstream, lamestream news folks are twisting the facts just a little bit. I know, hard to believe, but there it is. And so you get to look at some of those crowds, and then we had some of those folks around here in my neighborhood walking up and down with a million signs and all that kind of stuff. And it was surprising to me how many boomers there is in that crowd. Old fogies. Now, I'm in the old fogey class myself. But I'm a year or two older than Boom. And hopefully there's nobody in my group that was dumb enough to be out there. What a bunch of losers. Frustrated hippies from the 60s. They poured out of their retirement homes and their assisted living quarters and showed up on the street, mingled with the paid demonstrators and and protested a bunch of stuff they don't understand. And that's okay, I guess. This is the United States of America. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're really entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to express your own opinion. I just wish that the people on the left would give the people on the right the same constitutional rights that they have. And I hope most of those folks got home safe. Maybe I'll see some of them in church. Probably not, though. Most of the people in my church are a little smarter than that. So once again, that's one old man's opinion. And please, 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 like, subscribe, share. It's more entertaining if you share it with somebody you don't like or somebody you think is wrong. Just, kind of prank them a little. Get them to watch me run in my mouth. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for watching, the ones who do. Travel with God.